Hello, everyone. It is Wednesday. You already know what that means. It means another episode of Speak Your Soul. I'm your host, Shantae. Pleased to be back once again. I took a little break last Wednesday to let the soul be free. And also, thank you for everyone that's been keeping me in your prayers. Very much appreciated for everyone. But as we all do, we have to kind of take a break every now and then to kind of reset. But I am back. This is episode 22 of Speak Your Soul. I am so blessed and thankful for you guys that tune in every week. Like I said, I can't say thank you enough for everything that you do. For those that follow the Instagram, the Facebook, the Anchor, Apple Podcast, Spotify, everything. For those that tune in and listen to me, however you listen, whether you watch it live or whether you listen to it on Facebook or IG, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. As you can see, I come prepared once again this week. Shout out to Crystal Lott, Enticing Designs. This is UGLY. You gotta love yourself. Baby, when I tell you that is the name of the game, that is the story of my life. So many times I see so many people that get frustrated with life, they get intimidated by life. And so this was a poem that I wrote a long time ago that had the acronym UGLY. And I was saying that the word ugly, hey Frey, what's up? The word ugly can always be turned around and used in a positive. When you think of ugly, you always think of the negative about that word. Man, you ugly, But I want you guys to really take the word ugly and use it for your own benefit. Flip the word around, use it to mean a positive. So I wrote a poem I want to talk about a long time ago, probably 2000, that had the acronyms UGLY. And I flipped it. And so UGLY means you gotta love yourself. And so right now, with everything that's going on, especially, Black women, African American women, you gotta love yourself. If you don't love you, it starts with you. So basically, UGLY, you gotta love yourself. Always put yourself first, as far as with your health and everything like that. So please keep that in mind. But once again, shout out to Crystal Lott for this shirt. This is amazing. You gotta love yourself. You, talking about you. You have to love you. So wanted to get the show kicked off with that. So UGLY, you gotta love yourself. But this week, after taking a little hiatus, coming back because I love to talk about and delve into relationships. And every Tuesday I put out the Speak Your Soul poll of the week, discussing the topic that we'll be talking about on today's show. And this particular topic, I know I say this all the time in regards to the topics that we do on the show, but this one kind of got everybody thinking. It had to, you had to dig a little bit deep in with this one, because a lot of people wanted to get a specific meaning behind this week's topic. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into this one, because I know this one's going to really spark up some conversation. So this week's Speak Your Soul topic is, do you think past relationship secrets should always be kept hidden? So when I posted that, a lot of people started hitting me out outside of the post and asking me, okay, well, what do you mean by secrets? Like, did they kill somebody? Did they stab somebody? But, I'm going to break this down to you literally so you get an understanding. So when I say, do you think past relationship secrets should always be kept hidden, I'm not talking about that they killed somebody or they stabbed somebody or anything like that. If you keeping that a secret, first of all, why were you in a relationship with that person that killed somebody, and you keeping it a secret? I get it, but definitely that's something that you don't want to bring into or tell someone just out of the blue. into the next relationship that you're going to be in. What I'm talking about as far as secrets are things that that person that you shared between you and that person that involved you, like the person cheated or, you know, things of that nature. That's what I'm talking about in regards to keeping secrets, which if somebody cheated, you know, is not really a secret. But, you know, a lot of people chimed in. Thank everybody that responded that, you know, responded to this particular post. But I want to dig in and give you my perspective first, as I always do on Speak Your Soul. I always put myself on the hot seat before I start, you know, answering or putting anybody else on the hot seat. So I had a secret from a previous relationship, and I did tell my significant other in the next relationship about that because it had something to do with children. So, and that's something that was going to affect the perception, or, you know, how that relationship was going to, the new relationship, how that relationship was going to go. So when it has something that's going to involve the person that you're in a relationship now, it's always best to be honest. I'm honest by nature. If there's something that I feel like I gotta tap dance around, that I'm not telling the truth, I'm not going to sit up there and just, you know, not tell the truth and be honest. If it's going to affect the new relationship that I'm in, then yeah, there's no use to holding on to information or holding on to a quote unquote secret that's going to affect that new relationship that I'm in. Now, if it's something, and shout out to Smyrna, Smyrna, if you watching, or if you watch this later on, kudos to you, because she made a very valiant point. You can always be, or you can be in a relationship with someone, have a secret that is between you and that person, but ultimately the past is the past, right? You know, you don't want to bring things that happened in a previous relationship necessarily into a new relationship. You don't want to start off that basis. You don't want to start off that new relationship hashing out things that happened in a past relationship. I totally get it. Also, you don't want to hash out and bring up secrets that are going to potentially be detrimental to the person in the previous, you know, relationship. If we broke up and it's amicable, even if it's not amicable, even if we, you know, had a knock them out, drag them out fight and said, I don't want nothing to do with you, that's still something. If you have a secret that's specific to you, you know, or whatever, that's going to embarrass you, embarrass your family, or anything like that, I'm not going to tell that particular secret. Herpes, if you got that joint, Warner brother, that's important. Exactly. That's another thing. If you if you were in a past relationship and that relationship, something happened as far as like if you got an STD or something like that, yeah, you can't keep that a secret. you know, that's going to potentially affect the person in the relationship that you're in now. So you can't just sit up there and act like it didn't happen and keep that to yourself. That's not something you want to keep secret. But on the same flip side, that could be embarrassing to, if you told that, you know, that could be embarrassing to the person that you were in a previous relationship with, that you're airing out their dirty laundry. But once again, if they cheated, you know, then that's kind of, you know, then that affected you at the time. So then that's going to affect the previous relationship. But what I specifically want to hone in on is, and shout out to Tony once again. Tony coming up with a good answer, or always kind of taking these things and kind of making sure that they're broken down so everybody could get a good understanding of his thoughts and perspectives. But the biggest thing is, you know, I get it. Secrets are just that, secrets, you know, something that you don't divulge in there. But please keep in mind that there will come a time, and you just never know, in your new relationship, when someone's going to ask you to be honest. They're going to ask you questions. They're going to want you to be truthful and honest with them. They're going to want to know things that happened, you know, in that previous relationship, as far as, you know, the, details, secrets, things that you wouldn't normally tell. Um, Big thing was, hey, whatever you ask me, be prepared for me to turn around and ask you the same things. So if you're going to ask me secrets, if you're going to ask me details personally to my own, to my personal life, to my previous relationship, don't be alarmed when I turn around and ask you personal questions as well. If I ask you to uncover some of your secrets, some of your, details about what's going on in your life or what's happened to you, don't open up that door. So a lot of times you have to be careful when you're probing about somebody's previous relationship, because you never know. You might be opening up a door or a window to something that you might not want to know the answer to. And then, like I said, it's a revolving door, right? So if you ask me secrets about what happened in my past or in my previous relationships, then that opens up the door for me to turn around and ask you the same thing. So be careful. If you're getting information or you're about to share a secret that you know is going to make the significant other talk, think twice about the person that they're with or in a relationship with, then like I said, sometimes sharing certain information or sharing certain secrets is not the best way for you to go. So this particular topic, you just really have to be, or this subject, like I said, kind of, a lot of people said, no, I'm not telling a secret. I'm not, if it's my past, I'm not telling it. And it depends on what the secret is, and it depends on the type of relationship that I've got with the person I'm in right now. So you just have to be careful when you're sharing information, when you're sharing secrets, important information, what you give to, the new, because volunteering information to a new relationship can come out costly. That can end up costing you the relationship, costing you a friendship potentially as well with someone that you could really care about, and you end up hurting that person. So I'm going to dive into some of these comments, because once again, every week you guys do say the most amazing comments. And so I want to make sure that I'm showing you guys, the Speak Your Soul audience, some love with some of the comments that you shared. So someone asked me to expand upon the question. And so her reply, once I did, she said, oh, I just did this on accident recently. But in essence, if the secret involves me and my actions, then I have no misgivings on sharing. I prefer not to share secrets involving the former. So in this particular instance, I'm with her in regards to, if there's a secret in the past relationship that involves me, and I feel comfortable with sharing it, then I'm going to share it. So, I know sometimes we don't want to dredge up the past, but like I said, if it's something that's going to involve somebody, the new person that I'm in a relationship with, then I'm going to tell it, especially if it involves me. So like I said, I put myself on the hot seat. I've had things that happen in past relationships that involved the new person that I'm in a relationship with. And so I had to be honest and upfront with them. I didn't want to carry around a secret or try to hide anything from that person, because that's the worst feeling in the world, when you're with someone and you feel like you're hiding something from them. So potentially I just grinned and bare it and just went ahead and was honest and upfront with the person, and just let them know, hey, this is what's going on in my life. This is a decision that I made in my previous relationship. It's going to involve us now. So I'm just being honest, so for you to make your own decision on whether or not you really want to be in this relationship or not. And I believe that's totally fair. Sometimes you have to divulge information to the new person that you're with and let them make the decision of whether or not they want to, they want to continue, or whether or not they want to be with you in this relationship. Sometimes you have to go that route. Because if you hold on to a secret that you know later on is going to turn around and boomerang and hit both of you in the back of the head, it's better to be honest and upfront early than to sit up there and hold on to secrets and hold on to information and then divulge it at the end, when it's after you guys have been in a relationship for 2, 3, 4 years. So definitely appreciate this person for saying that. Someone said, hell yes. Yes, so there's a lot of guys that believe in holding on to past secrets, and not sharing that with the person in the new relationship. And like I said, I get it. It's a secret. That's why it's called a secret. But if it involves something that's going to potentially hurt or harm, or something that's going to potentially cause the person in the new relationship to think twice, or they're not going to be down with it, it's best, like I said, for you to reveal some of that. And if you're asked, then what are you going to do? If somebody asks you, hey, what happened with that situation with you and your ex, or what happened, are you going to freeze up? Are you going to be like, no, nothing happened, just this little thing or whatever? But you don't have to worry about it. So, like, to Frey's point, if you contracted herpes in the previous relationship and somebody asks you, or if they go to the doctor and get tested and then they come back and ask you, what are you going to do? What are you going to say? Oh, no, I didn't get an STD from my previous relationship. So you have to be careful about which secrets you're holding on to, because that one definitely is the wrong one to hold on to. And if that person in a new relationship knew that happened, then yeah, it's going to make that person think twice about, whether or not they want to stay in the relationship. So those type of secrets you don't want to hold on to. You don't want to hold on to information that is going to potentially involve somebody else down the line. So definitely don't do that. That's why it's called a secret. Train, if Train is watching, Train, thank you so much for commenting. He said, are they haunting you? So sometimes you can have secrets from a past relationship that are just haunting you, that just don't go away, that you're feeling insecure about, that you're feeling like, I gotta tell somebody, And so sometimes that will compel you to want to talk to somebody, or want to talk to the person that you're in a relationship, right? You're sharing a bond, with someone. That person is potentially your new best friend or your friend. So you feel like you don't want to hold anything from them, and you don't want to keep secrets. So sometimes these secrets from your past could potentially be haunting you, and they're going to force you to come out and tell the truth. So you can't necessarily hold on to those secrets, especially if they're haunting you at night, if they're compelling you to tell the truth. So sometimes if you feel better, if you just get some of this off of your chest. Once again, if it's something that's going to hurt someone or harm someone, I don't recommend it. But if it's something that involves you, that you have to get off your chest, sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you just have to do what you have to do in order to preserve your peace, or to get your peace back. So I totally get what Train is saying here. It is a constant reflection in self-mind. Is the past the past? They're constant coming up, passing mentally, you're physically, is it bothering you mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually? How do you move forward without releasing the past? And I totally get it. I totally get that. Sometimes we can't move forward in the relationships, the new relationships that we're in, until we delve and deal with what happened in the past. So it's imperative sometimes that we get that stuff off of our chest, so that we can get it out, so we, move forward in that new relationship, and we're not holding anything behind. Ask the questions before we get together. After we're together, it's all about the future. Always be fair in love if you care. That's true. Thank you, Willie. So, sometimes it's best if you just ask those questions as you're getting to know each other, as you're building a friendship, because some people don't want to know that stuff. Some people, just don't want to know. Once you've gotten to the relationships stage of your, and you guys are going good and you guys are thriving, a lot of people don't want to know what you did in your past relationship. Once it's just the two of you, it's just like, hey, whatever we do going forward, it's just on us. So Willie, thank you. That's another big point. A lot of people don't want to know your past. They don't want to know your secrets, and they're not going to ask. If it's me and you and we're in this thing together, we're in a relationship, we're going to take this thing and we're going to do it together. I can't, why backtrack? Why, bring that stuff up now when we're going good and we're moving forward in the future? So Willie, thank you for that. That's totally understandable. But one of those days, some people you get to a point where you're going to ask a question, hey, so what happened? Or, why do you do this? Or why do you think that? And all of a sudden, that secret, that you're holding on to, you're going to be compelled to get it out. So, totally agree with that. So, good take. Take some soul searching. That is true. So, Train, thank you so much. That I believe in that wholeheartedly. Sometimes you have to deal with your past in order to move forward in the future, and that requires you to do some soul searching. Sometimes you have to get some of that stuff off your chest for you to be able to move forward in a relationship. And a lot of people don't see it like that, but I totally agree with that. Sometimes you have to let it go in order to move forward in a relationship. So thank you, Train, for that. So like I said, a lot of people says yes. If both agree, then yes. So if you're going to have this conversation with your, with your new person, some people call up if they have a good relationship with the person from their previous relationship. Sometimes they call them up and be like, hey, I'm going to tell them about this and this and this. Is that okay? And I'm totally okay with that. Sometimes if you want to divulge information, you don't want to be insensitive to the person in the past relationship. So if you want to call them up and be like, hey, I'm getting ready to, I need to get this off of my chest. So I'm going to tell my new boo about such and such and such, and then you guys can decide together whether or not you want to divulge that information, depending on that information. So, what kind of secrets are we talking about? So, Jason, I get it. Thank you, bruh. I said I had to elaborate a few times because a lot of people, hey, what type of secrets are you talking about? So, yeah, if it's something that's going to embarrass you, if it's something that's going to embarrass my ex and we still have a good relationship, even if we don't have a good relationship, I'm never going to put your business out there in the street that's going to embarrass you or come back to, potentially hurt or harm the new relationship that you're in. So I never want to be that person. But like I said, if it involves me, cheating or, something that potentially, like I said, is going to hurt my future relationship or the relationship that I'm in with someone else. So you have to just be careful what you do. So I agree with Tony, and I know Tony is watching out there. He said the answer is layered. So of course, I had to dig a little bit deeper because when Tony starts wanting to give you his whole entire soliloquy, you got to just go with it. So he said the answer is later. Don't ask questions you are not able to handle honest answers to. Lie to yourself because I won't lie to you. Like Jack Nicholson said, you can't handle the truth, so don't ask. So that goes back to, for the person in the relationship, in the new relationship, getting ready to ask you questions about your past. Be careful. Before you ask me what happened and you want me to spill my guts and tell you everything, be careful. Don't ask me a question that you're not going to be prepared for me to turn around and ask you that same question. So some people can't handle the truth. If you hear that, the previous person I was in a relationship with gave me an STD, you better be prepared for, what that comes with. Or, the previous person, got locked up or whatever it may be. You have to be prepared for what you're about to hear if you're going to ask me questions about my past. So just be careful of the revolving door that you get ready, or the Pandora's box that you're getting ready to open up when you do those type of things. So just be careful. Hey, Randall, how you doing? So secrets once discovered breed mistrust, and it's downhill from there. I totally agree with that. Thank you, Tony. That is correct. So once you've opened up Pandora's box, and once that person knows these secrets about you that happened in your previous relationship, you're opening up yourself for being criticized by the person that you're in a relationship. They don't know whether to scream, to run, to stay with you, to hold your hand. They don't know what's going on, especially if you tell them, oh, you got locked up or you stabbed someone. If you tell somebody you stabbed your previous the previous person in a relationship, what do you think the new guy is going to think? oh yeah, I stabbed him. I did, went to jail for 3 months because I stabbed my previous boyfriend. The new person's gonna be like, I don't think we need to be in this relationship because I potentially could be next on your list. So you have to be careful. If somebody asks you, and he could have simply asked you, have you done any time? Have you been locked up? But once again, are you going to lie, or are you going to tell the truth and tell him specifically why you were locked up? So you have to be careful the Pandora's box that you're opening up. So if you can't tell your partner, you probably shouldn't do it. So if it's something so scandalous and it's something that is going to make or break, or really damage or discredit yourself, you might not want to go down that line. You might just want to leave it alone. The problem with secrets is not telling the truth, or not telling the truth in general, is that you take the other person's choice away, which is a very good point. If you start telling, or if you tell this information, if the other person doesn't want to know, well, now it's too late. You've already shared. You make the decision on how the other person will handle it for them. It's if that's fair or not. So when you potentially tell someone this information, you have to also be mindful of how that person is going to receive the information that you're giving them. If you know that person's not going to receive that information well, or going to take this news well, sometimes it's better just to keep it as is. If you know that it's going to stress them out, if it's going to be detrimental to them, then don't do it. So sometimes these past secrets, or these things that happen in your past, it's like I said, it's better to leave them alone, to not do anything, because it's going to be detrimental to the person that you're in a relationship with. If they're not going to be able to handle the truth, sometimes it's best to just go on about your business and not even involve it. But the truth is yours. Just trying to protect yourself from the consequences of your action and exert a level of control over your partner. So that's also an interesting one as well. So if I answer one of yours, be prepared to answer one of mine. So simple as that. If you're going to tell me, or if you're going to, answer or tell a secret, just be prepared for what's going to happen, reciprocated, when that person asks you, hey, well, tell me a secret. Well, tell me something that happened in your past relationship. Something that you wouldn't normally tell. So like I said, be careful of what happened, or what secret you're getting ready to divulge and tell, because one, the person that you're getting ready to tell this information with may not be able to handle it. Two, you have to understand that that's going to completely change the dynamic of the relationship. That person may say, you know what, I can't handle that. Deuces, I'm out. I'm not going to be able. If you got locked up because you stabbed somebody in your previous relationship, yeah, I mean, that's going to be detrimental to the new relationship. So you have to think about, not only for you, because you're trying to get this stuff off your chest, but you also have to think about what that's going to do to that relationship going forward. So a lot to contend. You definitely have to make sure that, you're taking your time, and you're, being mindful of what you're getting ready to say, who you're saying it to, and what that's going to potentially do to the relationship. Somebody said depends on what it is. It depends on the secret and the level of the relationship. Now, I've been blessed to be in some relationships where we build a foundation and a friendship first. So I could definitively say, if I told someone in my relationship, in my new relationship, something, then I've already built a foundation with that person. So that means that we're already friends first. So regardless of whatever happens, we build a friendship before we got into a relationship. So I feel comfortable enough with being able to tell you all aspects of my life. So if I decide, or if I tell you something that happened to me, or if I tell you something that happened in my past, and we build a friendship prior to even being in a relationship, I feel comfortable enough with being able to tell you things from my past without being judged. So that's a huge thing. The level of relationship that you have really truly depends on whether or not you want to divulge these secrets from a past relationship. If you have truly built a foundation of friendship with this new person and you feel comfortable enough that you can tell that person anything, then by all means talk, tell that person, get it off your chest. If it's, especially if it's haunting you, especially if it's something that's bothering you, you should feel inclined with the new person to be able to tell them the truth. Now, if you just jumped from one relationship into another without really setting a foundation, then yeah, if you tell that person a secret like you stabbed your previous boyfriend, that person's going to run in the wind. They're not going to want to hear that, because the first thing they're going to think is, oh man, I don't know this person. They could be crazy. I'm out. So it really, truly, I agree with Mr. Ogbu with that one, as far as building a level of a friendship, of a relationship, is going to be imperative. Whether you feel inclined or you feel, trustworthy enough to be able to tell these particular secrets or these things to your new significant other. So totally get that. I have someone that says it's irrelevant unless one of the others choose to speak on such. So unless the other person decides they want to speak up or they want to talk about this, then, that opens up for you to be able to talk about it as well. And I agree with that to a certain extent. Like, if it's something that is a secret that's between you two, but then that other person goes and tells that secret to their significant other, do you have the right at that point? Is that secret now fair game? Can you then turn around and tell that significant other, oh, well, because I can tell you now because now it's been divulged. It's out in the open. The secrets are now, out there. So you have to just be careful. Once again, you don't want to do anything and then feel like you're retaliating against your ex. You're just divulging secrets just to hurt that person. I'm not that type of person. It's all about me. It's all about loving myself. And if I'm doing this as therapy, then so be it. But I'm never going to do anything to retaliate against my ex like that. I'm going to speak the truth, and that's it. But if they decide they want to tell their boo, hey, this is what happened, I'm going to go ahead and open up, then I feel that secret now becomes fair game. So if they told it to their significant other and you've been holding on, then I feel it's fair game for you to be able to tell your significant other. Let's keep it 100. I like that. Let's keep it 100. If you want to know, ask. I need the same energy in return though. So that's just like what we talked about earlier. If you're going to ask me personal things about a previous relationship that I've been in, then understand you're opening up the door for me to turn around and ask you the same thing. So just be careful what you're doing, who you're asking it to, because if that person's not going to be able to handle it, then that's a no-go. Then I wouldn't even ask them. Now, here we go. It's none of the new relationships business. I have something for that. So, people, when you say it's none of my new relationship business, that is true. That's true. If you're with someone and you're making a commitment with somebody, yeah, I totally agree. It's none of that person's business. But also be mindful for people, and this is just something I've experienced in the past. People that say it's none of the new relationships, it's none of their business, are also people that are implicated in these secrets from this previous relationship. They have more to hide. So when they say it's none of the new person's business, that's because these secrets are implicating them. They were the wrongdoer. They were the person that's coming out bad in these secrets. So of course, it's none of your business because I'm the bad guy that you're going to tell this secret about. So of course I don't want anybody to know, and I don't want this to get back to my new boo. So it's amazing to me how when they say it's none of your business what I did, if you get that answer, oh, it's none of your business what I did in my previous relationship. Oh, it's none of your business that I did such and such and such and such. To me, that means that that person definitely has a lot of secrets and they got a lot of stuff to hide. So be careful when you get those real snappy responses. Oh, that's none of your business. None of your business what I did in my previous relationship. None of your business what secrets I have in the past. It's none of your business. That none of your business means there's a lot of business. It's a lot of secret business. It's a lot of cover-up business. It's a lot of stuff. It's a whole lot of business going on in there. So you have to be careful when you get them real snappy, on edge, don't talk about mine, I won't talk about yours. I'd rather just, not say anything at all. And the people that just would rather cover up everything, those people typically have the most secrets that they're hiding, that they don't want to get out, that they don't want to divulge. Rarely do I see somebody that say, man, that's none of your business, truly are truly innocent in regards to that statement. Some people are, I'm not going to say that everybody has something to hide, but typically if somebody comes back real quick and be like, hey, that's none of your business what I did in a previous relationship, typically that means that there's something about that person, or there's something in that previous relationship, some secret, something deep that they don't want you to get into, because they know if you continue to keep digging into their past, you're going to find something that you don't like. So I just wanted to stop and to clarify that whole it's none of your business, because in these new relationships, if you ask somebody, you're asking them to be truthful and you get a response, that's one thing. But if you turn around and all of a sudden you get oh, it's none of your business, then definitely understand that somebody has something to hide in that particular past relationship. So someone says it depends on if it will affect the current one. And that's what I was saying earlier. So I totally agree. Thank you, Aisha, for that one. So if it's going to affect, what if you decide, and I'll just give this as an example. What if you decided in the previous relationship that you didn't want to have kids? And what if you decided that you had a vasectomy or you had a hysterectomy, okay? But you're still young. And then you get involved with somebody else that doesn't have children, that wants to have children. That's huge. That's information. You can't keep that a secret. That's going to affect the relationship, the new relationship that you're in. If you sit down, or if you're asked, if he starts talking about kids, or if she starts talking about, wanting to have kids, and you had a vasectomy or a hysterectomy in your previous relationship, like, that's something you can't really keep a secret. That's something that's going to affect that new relationship. Because if that person does indeed want to have children, then you can't blame them for deciding that they want to move on, because, it's not going to happen. So there is information that, yes, you have to divulge, you have to tell, because it's going to affect the relationship that you're having, the new relationship that you're in. Those are the things that you have to share. So it is important that you're making sure that whatever information, whatever secret that you're divulging, and I really don't even want to call it a secret, but that you're being honest, especially when you're asked. And if it's going to affect the relationship, then so be it. If that person wants kids and you don't, then you guys shouldn't be together. It is what it is. So why keep that from them? Why not divulge that information? Why hold on to that? Why make that person, believe that this relationship is going any further if it's not going to happen that way? So once again, if these secrets from your past or in a past relationship are going to affect the new one, you have to share. That's information you don't want to keep from someone. Yes, when you were with a person, you had a bond, you had a trust, you were trying to make it work, you were on a journey together. Just because it ended, why do so many people become enemies and bitter? Alex, that's a good one. I totally agree with that. You know, if we were in a relationship and it just ended, you know, that's not something that, you know, we should become enemies for, you know, or we can't talk or be civilized about. So, you know, be careful, you know, if we decided to be go on this journey together, we're not instantly enemies after the fact. So I totally agree with that. Just because even bad breakups are still with someone you once cherished. Wow, that's saying a lot. So even though the relationship ended, it's somebody that you cared about. You know, it's someone that you cared enough to share, you know, these secrets with. It's someone that you know, divulged information to. It's someone that you cared about. And yeah, just because we've talked about this ad nauseum on Speak Your Soul. Just because that relationship is over doesn't mean that you stop potentially caring for that person or loving that person. But, you know, I always digress to make sure that you know, make sure that you heal from that relationship if it ended badly before starting a new one. I mean, that's the biggest thing you can do, is to give yourself time to make sure that you take time to love yourself and to heal from everything that happened before you potentially move on to another person. But yeah, if you, just because it's a past relationship, just because it's an ex, doesn't mean that you didn't care about them, that you didn't love them. And so, yeah, you guys should have an understanding. You guys should be able to talk about, you know, sharing information, sharing secrets, whatever it might be. So I totally get that. And so it's important that you cherish what you had. So ultimately, in that past relationship, cherish what you had. You know, cherish everything that happened in that relationship. Just because it's over doesn't mean that it was, you know, the worst thing. You once loved them. You once, you know, cared for them. So in that same turn, what happened in that relationship should be, you know, shared, something that you guys can share amongst each other, but outside of that as well. So he said, but if you killed someone and that's a part of your secret, I'm calling 911 and turning you in, which is understandable. So as we get ready to bring episode 22 of Speak Your Soul, once again, I'm absolutely enamored that we're at episode 22 of Speak Your Soul, and this thing keeps moving right along. But ultimately, with these topics, as we do every week, is sharing our own opinions. It's sharing what we, you know, what we believe in. It's getting opportunity to interact with other people that have the same thought process, or maybe not, you know, other, but it's sharing our own different opinions about what we believe, you know, sharing what we believe in relationships to be true. So, you know, once again, thank everyone for tuning in to Speak Your Soul. Once again, you can catch these episodes on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. You can see them on YouTube. I am on YouTube. So you can check me out on YouTube, Facebook, on the Speak Your Soul page, and on Instagram as well. And so just take the time, once again, UGLY, you gotta love yourself. Always practice self-care. For those people out there that are dealing with the situation that happened with the young man that was shot 7 times. You know, here we go again. We're in another situation. We're dealing with, you know, the stress of it. We're dealing with the weight of it. Jacob, here, you know, we're back at it again. But, you know, I'm gonna tell you one thing: when somebody is trying to succeed, God has a different plan. And in this particular instance, God had a different plan for this young man, for him to survive this, to be able to tell his story, to be able to be a witness to this. So I'm thankful that he can tell his own story. But once again, you know, when will it end? So I wanted to end today's episode of Speak Your Soul with just, you know, here we go again with another victim of, you know, police brutality. and give a big shout out to everyone in the NBA, because they literally today have just boycotted all of the games. The playoffs are in danger of not being not being on. But once again, if they don't take a stand, then who will? And these are people at the biggest, on the biggest stage in entertainment. So if they can do it, then anybody else can do it. And so I applaud those guys for taking a stand today and saying, hey, I just don't want to do this anymore. My life means more to me than just your entertainment. So with that being said, I will end this episode of Speak Your Soul. Once again, thank everyone for tuning in. You can tune in on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. to check me out. And like I said, on all of my social media sites, on my Twitter, Speak Your Soul, Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, check me out. All right, with that being said, you already know what we do. So don't forget, what? To speak your soul. All right, you guys have a good one.